So I joined this campaign. It's just about been 2-on-1 with the media doing half of Hillary Clinton's work for her every day. Did you ever notice that? And it seems like the more information comes out, there's WikiLeaks released a whole new batch of emails today for your weekend enjoyment.
All right, Steve, fair to say that the media is doing a 2-on-1, doing Hillary Clinton's work for her?
Well, certainly the media have served as an amplifier of the arguments that Hillary Clinton has made against Donald Trump. Now, I would argue that Donald Trump has made their job pretty easy by saying things that makes it easy for them to amplify. Look, I don't know what Tom is talking about, frankly. I mean, you know, he says that we've known for a long time that Hillary Clinton was wealthy and out of touch. I mean, it's news to her because, remember, she says she was dead broke in 2000. I mean, this is news to her. Yeah, I mean, I think to go back to the media question, I think if you look at the way that the media have focused on Donald Trump and not reported deeply the kinds of things that they would report. Of course, if Hillary Clinton were a Republican, there's absolutely no question there's a double standard. But as I say, I think Donald Trump has made their job pretty easy.
Rick, does this hurt her at all? She's really been out there trying to get millennials the millennials don't like Trump or Clinton. They're not polling, neither of the primary candidates are polling well with that group. She's also had to try to pull in the Bernie supporters. Many of them are younger. And it seems like they do not buy what she's selling. Now, when they hear these things where she's talking about cozying up to Wall Street, and listen, I mean, it's a free country. If she wants to make this money giving speeches to these groups, fine. I mean, I don't think anybody begrudges her that. But if she's saying something different publicly about where her positions are and trying to align herself with Bernie Sanders and that wing of the party, will this resonate with them at all? Like, she wasn't really telling us the truth.
Interesting enough, if you look at research about millennials, the number one thing is that they want authenticity. They really sense it. And they liked Bernie, not because he was polished, but because they believed his message and they thought he was authentic. The irony is that if Hillary Clinton would actually just own it and say, I'm really wealthy. I didn't grow up this way, but this is an American success story. And because I'm wealthy, I'm committed. And if she was authentic about being wealthy, I think that they could turn it around. But instead, her instincts are to be extremely secretive about it and duplicitous.
The problem with that is that the way she's made her money has been a 30-year, it's been sort of confluence of big government, big business, all of those things. She's been a public servant all her life and still ends up with $150 million. That's part of what I think those millennials sort of rebel against.
Yeah, I think that's true, except where else is she going to go? I mean, she is wealthy, own it, and just be humbly accepting of the fact that you're living the American dream. Be grateful. And then talk about other ways that people can get the American dream.
But she really isn't living the American dream. Mr. Trump is living the American dream. She's the one who has made this money in public life. And she's not only made it in public life, she's made it, many would argue at least, in some really corrupt ways.
Totally,
and so she really can't embrace that because she really doesn't have that to embrace. It's not like she ever created a single job, like she ever worked in the private sector. There's just nothing there for her to embrace in terms of the American dream. So she can't relate to that average worker.
Well, you know, there was so much that was made about Mitt Romney the last time around, kind of, you know, creating him as this evil caricature of this super rich guy that, you know, is evil and doesn't care about real people. I mean, how does she embrace that and also look like, you know, she cares about people, but she owns the fact, you know, Steve, that she is wealthy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a hard case for her to go to millennial voters and say, look, you too can make $100,000 on cattle futures. It's not going to work, even though she may be able to do that authentically. I think her bigger challenge is losing millennials, not to Donald Trump, but possibly to people wanting to stay home, and especially to Gary Johnson. I mean, Gary Johnson has done better with millennials. He's done things, I think, that would be potentially discrediting, but it doesn't seem to have hurt him, at least yet.
Yeah, and we'll see if they show up on Election Day, because as we all know, third-party voters a lot of times don't show up on Election Day. All right, the weekend's controversies for